So people might think I'm trolling with this video or I'm jumping the gun, and the latter is definitely an argument can be made for the latter. An argument can absolutely be made that I'm jumping the gun. I probably am, but this is more of a kind of long-term conversation. Is Raven Johnson showing enough that she should be at least in consideration to start for the Indiana Fever at potentially at the quote unquote 1 or 3? Let's be real, 3, because everyone's talking about Raven as his true point guard. No, she's not. Raven Johnson does not project to be a quote unquote true point guard. Like she can pass the ball. Like she is not she is not enough of an offensive threat to be a primary ball handler. She's just a full-time primary ball handler. She's just not. Like, you're not winning in the WNBA with a non-offensive threat for primary ball handler. Like, but you can win the WNBA with a non-offensive threat defensive specialist. And that's what she is. She is a specialist. And she plays her fucking ass off. She will alter between 6 and 10 defensive possessions a game. As in, force a turnover, force a bad shot, or get a direct steal directly. And all of which are live ball alters. I think she can alter 10 live ball possessions in a game to allow the Indiana Fever run in 10 fast breaks. Like, that's not something you're really, that the stats are available right now to quantify. But I feel like, over the course of a game, she plays 25 minutes, she can do it 10 times. She's that good on defense. Like, it's funny, in college, she was obviously a really good defender. Really, 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 really good. But you've seen a lot of really good defenders in college, like a Celeste Taylor, just start getting cooked at the WNBA level. Even Kiki Rice on the defensive end hasn't looked comfortable. She already looks like the best defensive guard in the league. Day one. She might be the best perimeter defensive prospect ever. And I'm not going to lie, like, even when Caitlin Clark, for people being like, oh, Caitlin has to play the one side. Okay, yeah, cool. Let Raven play the wing. And one thing as well, like, Raven kind of passes the ball to Caitlin. Just putting it out there. Like, if you have a point guard that'll get the ball to Caitlin and Caitlin get the ball in positions to make the action she wants, yes, you can kind of take her off the ball in the half court. You never want to do that in the full court. Raven runs well. There's a lot of positive things. One thing we haven't seen is her shooting, because she's kind of not had a willingness to shoot. But there's one basketball. There is one basketball. And I think if she starts shooting at a level that teams can't leave her wide open, I think her defense is so good that she has to be in consideration. And if you want to say, oh no, but what about Sophie shooting? I actually agree with that point. So right now I wouldn't start her, but I think Sophie shooting puts her over the edge. She's been one of the best shooters in the league the last 2 years. However, I don't see for me, Raven Johnson over Lexi Hull. Raven Johnson has earned a spot over Lexi Hull. And if you want to say, oh, what about Lexi's shooting? Lexi is the streakiest shooter known to man. Like, Lexi Hull she will have a 5-game sample size where she will shoot 60% from 3. And then she will go a 10-game shooting 17% from 3. And then go 6 for 7. Lexi Hull, for her career, she's not even like short-term streaky. She goes on prolonged hot streaks and prolonged cold streaks. So the effort's always there, but it's just a weird one. It's like if she hits her first shot, she's going to make her next 5. But if she misses her first shot, she's 0 for 8 in a game. Whereas with Raven Johnson, we don't know that. But on the defensive end, for as good as Lexi Hull is, like, I've genuinely, people are like, oh, their 2 best defenders, Aaliyah Boss and Lexi Hull. Aaliyah's their anchor. They have no other interior defender at all. Like, none of them can play defense. Like, Mo Billings cannot play defense. Demiris Dantas might be the worst defender I've ever seen. And KK Timpson, she can block shots. She can kind of guard the ball. Her awareness, what better, still isn't where you want it to be. Maisha Hines-Allen is a serviceable defender, but not a rim protector. But like, Raven Johnson's the 1A, 1B on defense in this team, and I'm willing to say that already. Yes, even over all defensive team, Aaliyah Boston, she is the 1A, 1B. She's that good. And if you look, I think she's Marcus Smart. I think she projects to be Marcus Smart. Like, she is this, she'll guard point guards, play off the ball. You can play Marcus Smart with a big point guard. Like, if you look at some of those Celtics teams, like, I understand it took him leaving before the Celtics won, but like, he was a key factor into making the 2022 finals. So if you look at it with Marcus Smart, basically it's a situation where he was technically the point guard, but like Tatum and Brown had the ball in their hands 80% of the time. Derek White had the ball in his hands more. Maybe you could argue she's a Derek White. But again, Peyton Pritchard, when he's on the floor, has the ball in his hands more. So these other players are the ones that have the ball in their hand, even though he's technically the point guard. But he's going to guard the other team's best player. He's going to be the first line of defense. Like, I think if you have somebody as good as Raven Johnson guarding the ball, and you have someone as good as Aaliyah Boston in help side, I think you can get away with having 3 bad defenders. And the problem is with Sophie Cunningham, I think Sophie's a disciplined defender. I don't think she's bad. I think Lexi Hull is so bad, or is good on defense, but not good enough on defense to, like, she'll draw charges, but not good enough on defense to, say, make up for the shortcomings of Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Mo Billings. Mo Billings, just, her timing is all over the place. Caitlin Clark doesn't have the foot speed to guard in space, and Kelsey Mitchell just she overcommits and makes a lot of bad decisions on the defensive end. Raven Johnson is at least, I think, not that she should win it, by the way. Sophie Cunningham's done nothing to lose that starting spot. But we actually are in this conversation of like, will Raven Johnson start by the end of the year? And I can't believe I'm having this conversation. I can't believe it, because I thought Raven Johnson was going to play no minutes. But I'm really liking the Raven Johnson with Caitlin Clark minutes. Why? Because, look, she's someone, she played with Tania Latson. She played with Dahina Pau. She played with Mylasia Fulwiley. Raven Johnson is a quote-unquote point guard, but not really a quote-unquote point guard. She is a utility defender. Like, she is a super glue guy. Like, with all this bullshit conversation of, true point guard this, true point guard that, she is super glue guy. She doesn't need the ball. When she has the ball, she is I'm not going to say a good or bad or like a great decision maker, but she is a safe pair of hands. Like, you're not going to win anything with your primary ball handler and primary initiator being a safe pair of hands. But what you can do is have a safe pair of hands on the floor, as long as they're this elite defender. And if she ever gets that 3-point shot to 35%, I would say, you know what, fuck it, 32%. Which is, by the way, still a bad number. You might be like, oh, but that's what Caitlin Clark shoots. Yeah. Caitlin Clark shooting them while having, like, if Caitlin Clark shot 32% on wide open catch and shoots, I'd be worried. There's a reason why 3-point percentages aren't the same. Whereas, like, Sabrina Ionescu is probably the best wide open shooter in the league, but she shoots a bad percentage because she's never left open. But yeah, that's the video. See you guys.